Call the meeting to order at 5:31. We need to pull item 9D and E from the consent agenda and vote on those separate because we have a conflict of interest on those. That is the only amendment. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda with the amendment?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We will now convene to closed session. Meeting to order at 6:04. All right. Flag salute?
Yes, absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a couple of special recognitions and presentations tonight, so I would like to invite Jen Hansen up to do our presentations of some of our new staff.
Is this on? Oh, yes, it's on. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here today. So we have 4 new administrative staff presentations for tonight. Our first one is for Scott McKeon, who is our new Dean of Students at Lawrence Jones Middle School. So we had some administrative changes kind of early in the summer. Erin Skoll, who is our former assistant principal, got a principal position in Reagan Valley District. And so we ended up moving Holly Campos, who was our former Dean of Students, into the assistant principal role. And then we opened up the position to recruit for our dean. And so we are so excited to announce that Scott was who we selected. Scott has worked in Cotati Roanoke Park for 12 years, serving as a teacher at Technology High School, as well as the athletic director at both Tech High and Rancho Cotati High School at various points. He has taught various courses over the years at Tech High, including AP Biology, Environmental Studies, Freshman Essentials, Senior Essentials, art, and then also served as Tech High's instructional coach last year. He has also coached various sports in the district over the years, including basketball and track and field at Lawrence Jones Middle School. He received his Bachelor's of Science degree in biology from Kansas Wesleyan University, and he also played football there. And he obtained his single subject teaching credential from National University, and then recently completed his preliminary administrative services credential from North Coast School of Education. Mr. McKeon is a student-centered and equity-focused educator with a passion for connecting to all students. His passion is to provide resources and support so each student can reach their full academic, social, and emotional potential. And he is a firm believer of the 4 LJMS cornerstones, which we've just been completing Cornerstone Week, and is eager to form partnerships with students, families, and staff. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Scott McKeon to our CRPUSD administrative team. Welcome. Thank you. Do you want me to just keep going? Okay. Next up, we have our Evergreen Elementary Assistant Principal. So this is Miss Ann Dow Tovar, and she has been selected as our AP at Evergreen. She replaced Christy Corbett, who moved from that role to our principal position at John Reed Elementary. Ms. Tovar has served at Shepherd Accelerated Elementary School in the Roseland School District for the past 17 years, working as a 4th grade teacher. And she also worked as their academic dean for the past 2 years as well. She has had the privilege of serving as an instructor at Sonoma County Office of Education's Be a Teacher program. She was born in Vietnam and came to the United States at the age of 6. She is fluent in Vietnamese, and her husband is fluent in Spanish, and they are raising their 2 sons as trilingual speakers. Wow. And I also know your Vietnamese came in handy the other day where you were able to translate for a parent, so we love having more languages spoken in the district. It's great. Yeah, yeah. So her goal is to work alongside the Evergreen staff and learn and co-lead with them. She sees it as being of absolute importance to get to know the staff and students as individuals and as a team and immerse herself in Evergreen school culture. She is very much looking forward to building strong and authentic relationships with the students, families, and staff at Evergreen. And her positivity and excitement came shining through in her interview. I was like, this girl is so Evergreen, it's perfect. And we feel she'll be an amazing addition to the team. So welcome to the district. Yes, thank you. Okay, we have Miss Molly Nagel. Come on down. So Molly has been selected as our 60% assistant principal at Technology High School and also 40% special education program specialist supporting Monte Vista Elementary School. So kind of an interesting split, but we were able to find someone that really can do both of these roles really well. So Miss Nagel began her career actually as a substitute teacher in Cotati Rohnert Park, and she was hired as a resource specialist teacher in 2007. Throughout her tenure in Cotati Rohnert Park, she worked at Mountain Shadows Middle School, Rancho Cotati High School, and Technology High School. Then she transferred to Petaluma City Schools as an inclusion teacher and worked closely with general education staff to support students with more moderate disabilities with integrating them into the general education setting. She later moved into the special education program specialist position as an administrator, and then served as the director of student services, director of special services, which is their special education department, for 7 years in Petaluma. In the 2023-24 school year, she moved to the student services department in Petaluma and worked as a community schools and wellness coordinator. She holds a master's degree in administrative credential from Sonoma State. Molly has been married for 38 years, raised her children in Cotati Rohnert Park, and her kids attended Monte Vista, Waldo Rohnert, Mountain Shadows, Rancho Cotati, and Tech High. And as a proud CRPUSD parent, she attributes her children's success to the excellent education that they were given by the exceptional and dedicated teaching staff and educational leaders in Cotati Rohnert Park. So we're so glad to have Molly back home in Cotati Rohnert Park and working in this role for us. Welcome, Molly. Okay, and finally, we have our new principal of Thomas Page Academy. This is Miss Ana Castillo. We were so excited to hire her for this position. She served as an administrator of Glenn Edwards Middle School in Lincoln, California, since 2021, and also was so she worked initially as assistant principal there and then moved into the principal role. She had also served as an assistant principal and science teacher and department lead at Ace Esperanza Middle School SJ in San Jose from 2019 through 2021, and also was a science teacher at Cardin Academy and Holy Family School in San Jose. She holds a bachelor's degree in communicative disorders and sciences from San Jose State University. She wanted to be a speech language pathologist, but then decided to become a teacher, so we're happy to, at least you're in education in any way, that's great. And then she also has her master's in educational administration from Notre Dame de Namur University. And she has relocated from Lincoln up by Sacramento to Sonoma County, and we are absolutely thrilled to have her serve the students, families, and staff at Thomas Page Academy. Outside of her professional life, Ms. Castillo enjoys spending time with her family and friends, staying active, and is an avid sports fan. These personal interests fuel her passion for fostering a dynamic and engaging school environment. She is incredibly excited to join the Thomas Page Academy team and meeting and collaborating with students, families, and staff. And she believes that building strong and positive relationships is the cornerstone of success, and she is dedicated to promoting a culture of teamwork within the CRPUSD community. So welcome, Ana. We're so glad to have you. Great. And we are officially done with hiring administrators for the year. So we're very happy about that, and we love our team that we've put together for this school year. So thank you.
Thank you. It's very exciting. Next up, we have our oath of office for our 2024-2025 student board members. This year for Tech High, we have Sam O'Halloran, and for Rancho Cotati, we have Haley Trance. Come on up, I'll meet you guys in the center.
Sam
Aye.
O'Halloran,
I, Haley Tran,
do
Do-
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith, and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
All right, well, welcome to the board. We're very happy to have you and excited to get to know you over the next year. Oh, yes, and we have goodies for you, sorry. That's right. Get ready. So again, congratulations, we're really excited to have you. So now, it's your turn. So next up is student board member reports. Do you guys have one prepared for tonight? Yep, all right, so we will have Sam with Tech High.
Yeah, situated here. Here, I can just present it like this, unless you, all right, perfect. Well, good evening, board. I'm Sam O'Halloran, and I will be serving as the Public Relations Officer of Technology High School during this 2024 and 2025 ASB term. I'm excited to work with you all, and I get to know you all throughout this year. A little bit about me. I'm a current junior at Technology High School, and this is my second year in ASB, and throughout my time so far, I've been the varsity soccer captain twice and the varsity golf co-captain 3 times. And I'm interested in becoming the Public Relations Officer to enhance the public image of THS, as well as refine personal communication skills in my personal and professional life. And I love to talk to people and interact with people. So I love to talk to anybody and everybody, really. I look forward to surviving junior year this year. I've heard a lot about it, but I'm optimistic. And I'm also looking forward to hosting more rallies at Tech. That's one of my favorite parts of being a part of ASB. And I'm also really excited for the soccer season this year because we got a new coach. You can see here some pictures of me visiting Canada with my family, me at a rally, and me with my girlfriend in San Francisco. And I look forward to spending more time with friends and loved ones throughout this year. A personal interest of mine is that I'm a member of the United States Air Force Auxiliary Civil Air Patrol. And so outside of school, I focus on learning military honor guard, drill and ceremonies, and flying. And this year, I'm beginning my application to the United States Air Force Academy, and I hope to attend that after high school and commission into the Air Force as a pilot or just as an officer anywhere in there. But that's all I have about me. And again, I'm optimistic about this year, and I'm excited to work with you all. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Sam. All right, with Rancho Cotati, we have Haley Tran.
How do I exit out of here? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Haley Tran, and I'm this year's school board representative for Rancho Cotati High School. I'm very excited to work with all of you guys and just get to know everyone on the board and get to know everyone at Rancho Cotati on the staff members. Sorry. Okay, a little bit about me. My name is Haley Tran, and I'm an incoming senior who has goals of attending a four-year university, then pursuing my dreams of becoming a doctor in the medical field. Some of my hobbies, I like to go to the gym. I am in some sports. I played flag football and I played volleyball and lacrosse my last years. And some clubs that I'm in AAPI Club, which is American Pacific Islander Club, and CSF, which is California Scholarship Federation. I enjoy reading, hanging out with my friends and family, and going shopping. Some of my achievements, my personal achievements is doing the KP Launch internship. That was basically an internship that I was able to do at Kaiser Permanente during the summer, so I was able to work with different doctors. I got to see like what they did in the hospital and work with patients as well. And I'm also starting to get my medical assistant program. I want to go into the medical field to start off my journey. I want to become a medical assistant, so I have class on the weekends too. And my academic achievements is becoming school board representative. I wanted to become school board representative because I wanted to be on the board throughout my whole years, but I wasn't able to the first 2 years. And I want to get to know the staff members and be able to enhance my public speaking. And I went through the biomed pathway, which was basically the medical pathway at my school. So I went through 3 years of that. And this year I did staff appreciation to start off the year positively. I gave teachers an apple with a letter that was on it, which said Happy School Year, and distributed the apples in the morning of the first day of school in the teacher mailboxes. And it was just to start off the year nicely and just to give them a good look. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. All right, trustee reports and activities. Trustee Johnson?
Thank you. I had the opportunity to join Cotati Roanoke Park School District Welcome Rally last week, and it was lots of fun. We had races with the mascots, and team spirit was just, we just laughed and yelled and had a great time. So thank you for putting that together.
Great. Trustee Brown?
Also did that. Amazing commentator to my left here. So it was a lot of fun. So thank you. I would imagine Rochelle had a lot to do with the thing. And we all got our gold medals for attending. You didn't have to run, so it was great. So it was just the good feeling amongst the district and that. And then, the next day back to, or when the school started, back to reality, being a grandparent picking kids up from school. So seeing the excitement of the kids, the route in the school, seeing the parking problems that, that are always there, and I did my duty and I didn't park in the wrong place. I parked a block and a half away and walked. So I hope all parents will continue to make parking safe, because we know, beginning and ending at school, poor principals and staff try to keep that as safe as possible. So parents, please be patient and drive carefully around all our little students and big students too.
Oh, Trustee Nelson?
Oh, well, this is my first year in 5 years worth. No parking hassles in the morning, so that's a little odd getting used to. I was not able to make it to that gathering, but I did want to congratulate everybody on the board that is going to be reelected this year, and so I'm looking forward to the next at least 2 years working with a very cohesive board.
Trustee Martin?
I had the wonderful opportunity of attending the welcome back also, and I was really impressed with the energy in the room. It was very exciting, and it just seemed like it was setting the pace for the coming year. My favorite part was the band out front, and then the cheer squad welcoming us in. It felt very presidential. they're very honoring of all the teachers and staff, so it was awesome.
Great. I unfortunately was not able to go to the welcome back ceremony, but got to see lots of pictures and was a little bit jealous that you guys got to be there, but next year we'll be there again. So, in school year, kind of like Mark, but for different reasons, we have a driver in our house now, so the first day of school was a little bit different, where I just stood at the driveway and crossed my fingers and said a little prayer and may have driven by later to make sure everything was okay. But yeah, no, everything is going good. I'm really proud of all the schools, off to a great start, and looking forward to a wonderful school year.
So can I back up a little bit
Yeah.
and just thank all 4 other trustees that entered into the race and were ran unopposed? It's amazing. So thank you for that. That'll add some stability to us in going forward. Amazing as you look at the county, how the number of positions were vacant
Yeah.
and changeover. So we have some stability here. Not that a new person couldn't do the job too, but welcome back to fellow trustees, and looking forward to making this the best place to go to school.
Definitely. Sounds good. All right. Superintendent Ituri?
Thank you. I want to second that as well. I'm really grateful to all of you for signing on again. I think it's so important. We do have a cohesive team, and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you all. I just want to share a little bit about what's been happening at the school sites. I asked the principals to share with me things that were going well. And there have been scavenger hunts. Our paraeducators and campus supervisors received some training on August 13th. We had over 100 participate, and the principals are saying that the campus supervisors and paraeducators are using that positive reinforcement and that positive language with our students on the campus. There's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of smiles, a lot of games being played to get to know each other, and inclusive environments, and that there have been some barbecues and sports activities, so things are off to. We always tend to hear the things that are not going well. I think it's particularly at this level, but I think it's important to remind ourselves that there are a lot of good things happening too. The kickoff was amazing. Thank you, Rochelle, and all the people who made that happen. It was a lot of fun. Every time I talked about it, I smiled, so I knew that we were on the right path. So it was a great day. The PD day went well. We had several offerings. I'm not exactly how many total, but staff could choose up to 3 for the day. And it ranged from equity to arts classes to just a variety of a menu of offerings. Really, the theme was creating equitable environments for our kids and meeting their needs. But I think that the day went well. We're getting positive feedback on that. We can always improve, right? But for the most part, the feedback's been great. And then something that I don't think the district's done very often, or limited time, we were able to offer our classified staff a training day if they were able to be released from their school sites. So we hope to keep that going too. It's important to invest in our classified staff. And then we had an awesome first day of school, lots of smiles, long goodbyes and short goodbyes. High school were very short goodbyes. The elementary school a little longer, but it's been a good start to the school year. So thank you all.
Great, thank you. There she is. Next up, we have our RIPSIA president, Lisa Baumann, for the Roanoke Park Cotati Educators Association report.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you after the summer break. I've seen most of you in some capacity. And I'm back for a second year, which I'm really excited about. And I'm returning with my treasurer, Jennifer Canellis, and not with us, but still here in the process are my secretary, Megan Cockrum, and our amazing bargaining team members, Shayla Pace, Craig Stone, Kim Stainer, and Emily King. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you again. I'm really excited to see that this team hasn't really changed much, which is nice for continuity. I feel like we really covered a lot of ground last year and made so much progress towards our shared goals. as you know, we launched the Labor Management Initiative, now known affectionately as LAMP. And we got interest-based bargaining off the ground, and man, we really covered a lot of ground. And our shared goals last year were collaboration, consistent messaging, and building trust. And I think we really have made a lot of progress on all of those things because we all worked together on it, and we trusted in the process, and we gave it our all. And I really like the direction that we're on, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this for at least another year. On a personal level, my son just left today to go back to San Diego State, and he just arrived. He drove by himself, his first maiden voyage, the 9 hours down, and he arrived safely. So I'm very excited about that. And he's excited to be having his own room this year and not sharing a tiny little closet, as in a dorm room, with 2 other people. So that's exciting. I've received lots of great feedback, very positive about the kickoff event. So many people were just like, oh my gosh, that was the best kickoff that I've ever been to. And this is coming from people that have been in the district a lot longer than I have. And I also received lots of positive feedback about the professional development day, and people felt valued, and they felt heard, and that the district is listening by offering things that we wanted and giving us choice. And so I really think that that was also a good step in the right direction. Here at Rancho, I have to tell you, I am loving the new cell phone policy. Not that I haven't tried it on my own, and my husband has been a pro at it for years, but there is something to be said for the unity of it all and being campus-wide. And I mentioned to Maite yesterday when we were meeting that I went out in the middle of 3rd block, and I know it's early, but last year, if you would go out anytime during the day, you would just see kids mulling around, out in the quad, kind of using the bathroom, but, they were on their phones, they were texting to meet each other, and it was empty. It was empty, and it was just, I noticed it, and I was like, wow. And in my classroom, when there's downtime, there's just so much talking going on now. It's like they do know how to talk to each other when they don't have a screen in front of their faces. So I just wanted to mention that because I know other secondary schools are talking about it, and they haven't really complained too much, and I think it's going really well. So I just wanted to mention that. So at the end of last year, there were 346 educators under RIPSIA. And this year, we're starting with 363. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of growth. And I'm excited about that, but there's a lot more than 17 new educators in the district. In fact, there are approximately 55 new hires under RIPSIA this year. And that's a pretty big number. And part of that is turnover, right? And we continue to attract teachers, but we're still having a difficult time, retaining them and hanging on to them. And unfortunately, the surrounding competition is stiff. There are choices, and we were able to accomplish some amazing things last year in bargaining, particularly for our education specialists, which they are very pleased about. I'm hearing good things about that too. But we're not, able to keep pace right now with the salary and benefits being offered in surrounding districts. And I know we, are dealing with some very difficult times. And I'm hopeful though, I really am, that we can fix this together and that we can only dream that the state budget will improve in the next 6 months. So, our goal in RIPSIA this year is to continue to build our membership engagement, to unify our members, and to continue to strengthen the relationships and communication with the district and our community, all while improving working conditions for our members. I plan to visit sites more frequently this year, and I'm looking forward to not only getting to know our new members as well as strengthening my relationships with all members, but I'm looking forward to getting to know more principals, office staff, maintenance staff, and district employees, because as we all know with the work that we did last year, that together we are CRP USD. We aren't these individual little silos. We are really partners, and we are all here in our different roles because we all want the same thing, right? Our students to feel safe and cared for, and to have an education that will provide them with the opportunity to reach their goals and their dreams. So here's to the 24-25 school year. I can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you. We do not have a report tonight from CSEA or SEIU, and I believe we have no official correspondence. Is that right? All right. No public comment? Then we will go to consent agenda. So we are going to approve A through C and then F through X, and then we're going to do D and E separate. Can I get a motion to approve A through C and F through X?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Can I get a motion to approve 9D, ratification of Personnel Action Report 2025-1A?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll
Shirley, you
second.
have to second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any
Abstain.
abstentions?
Abstain.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it passes 3-0 with 2 abstentions. And then, item E, ratification of Personal Action Report 2025-1B. Can I get a motion to approve 9E?
I'll move.
Okay.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right. There we go. Item 10, Personnel Services. Approval of provisional internship permit at Monte Vista.
We have several teachers coming to us on provisional credentials, and this one is for our, this one is for an education specialist at Monte Vista. And we, oh, yes, that would be awesome, since you know them so much better than I do.
We're going to have Jen present.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, so we have 3 PIPs, or provisional internship permits, that we're bringing to you. The first is an education specialist at Monte Vista. The next is an English teacher at Technology High School who is taking the place of a teacher that is on a leave. And then we also have a 6th grade teacher at Lawrence Jones Middle School. So they are all, will be working through that internship permit this year, and then hopefully we'll be entering an intern program next year.
Great. Any questions for Jen about any of the PIPs? All right, can I get a motion to approve 10A, approval of provisional internship permit at Monte Vista?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Approval, or can I get a motion to approve the provisional internship permit at Tech High?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Can I get a motion to approve the provisional internship permit at Lawrence Jones Middle School?
I'll
I'm-
motion to approve.
Can I
I'll
get a
second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. Presentation of teaching assignment monitoring outcomes.
So Jen is here to talk to us. We have to monitor our teachers, and are they in or out of credentials, and we want to be sure. The state has a number of ways of monitoring that, and this is a new system, and Jen's going to explain it to us.
Yeah, so this is, it's called TAMO for short. We love to abbreviate things. And so the attachment to this item is the actual data that shows where our what our teaching assignments are, and it's a comparison to where we are to the county and also to the state. So if you're looking at that attachment, and another thing to note too is this is for the 2022-2023 school year. So this is like not last year, but the year before, because they're still working on compiling the data, because we review, so every September, October time, I review something called CalSAS, which are our assignment errors. And so I haven't reviewed those errors yet from last year. So this is what was determined from basically, a year and a half ago. So during that year, we had 272.3 teachers, and the ones that had a clear credential had 81.9%. So we were below the county and the statewide percentages there. And then if you look below on the data sheet, it really breaks out into the actual categories that certain teachers fell into. So, our teachers that were clear, so that means they either have a preliminary or a clear credential. We had close to 82% of our teachers having that. But, we have interns, we have people on PIPs, like the 3 people that you just approved. We also, another really common emergency permit is called a STIP, or a short-term staff permit. So we have, I want to say we have almost 20 teachers on a STIP this year. And usually why they're on that is because they haven't passed, what generally for us is they haven't passed one of the required assessments that you need to have your credential. And there's a test called the RECA, which is a reading assessment that they're not always getting completed during their credentialing programs, yet they've done all of their student teaching. They're like ready to teach except for this one test. So, we always attempt to hire fully credentialed teachers or teachers that have a preliminary credential, but we'd rather have a teacher on an emergency permit than have no teacher at all for the class. So, we're definitely working with our partners at Sonoma State, our partners at North Coast to make sure that, the people that come out are ready. But we are always going to have, it seems, interns, especially in classes like special education. So, we are below where, comparison to the county and to the state. Also, it's really expensive to live here too. So it's, we're kind of just doing what we can do to get people to work here. So also on the second page, it really breaks down like what a clear teacher is, out of field, intern, ineffective, and incomplete. So if you're wondering, what any of those things are, GLAPs, we also have a handful of people on a GLAP, which is a general education limited assignment permit. So that might be someone that, has a multiple subject credential, but then they're coming in and we're wanting them to teach PE, so they need a single subject PE credential. And so it's kind of like a Band-Aid for them while they do the coursework to get that single subject. So they're not like uncredentialed, but they're just not credentialed in the right area for the specific class that we're getting them to teach. So I'm really, really thankful. We have an amazing partnership with Hunter Ferreira and Jenny Reeder up at SCO Credentialing. I swear I need to send them cookies every year because they help us immensely. I mean, Emily and I are talking to them or emailing them numerous times per day, starting in April when we're starting to get people onboarded. So they're a huge, huge help for us with getting our teachers that don't have clear credentials, getting them the paperwork that they need so they can teach for us.
Great.
Any questions? I could talk about credentials for hours. I love it. So
I know Lisa talked about we had 55 new hires and a problem with retaining. I would be interested in finding out how many of our people that are intern, ineffective, incomplete, and out of field do become fully certified and leave.
yeah, I could pull that data for you. What does happen is we are one of the few districts that pay for induction. So what induction is, so when you finish student teaching and you have a preliminary credential, you have 2 years to basically do some work through induction to clear that credential. You have to do that within 5 years. And what happens, what we're finding is we have a lot of, the word is out that we pay for induction, which is great. We pay for induction for people and then they leave and they go work in a district that pays more. because induction is, you know, a couple $1,000s. And so it is a big perk that we do for that. So I don't think they're leaving because they're not credentialed. They're leaving, you know, they're leaving because they're moving out of the area because it's too expensive to live here, or they're leaving to go work in a district that pays more. That's really what's happening.
So when you say we pay for it, if they worked somewhere else that didn't pay for it, they'd be working without being paid. What is we
They
pay
would
for
pay
it
for it
means?
out of their own pocket.
So who are we paying?
We cover their cost of induction, like, so that goes through North Coast School of Education. So, we pay for that every year, you know, I forget the amount that it is. I wanna say it's $1,500 a year. I can't remember exactly the cost of it. But we cover it. We basically write a check to North Coast for that person.
Okay.
And they complete what they need to complete. They do all the work, you know, to complete that. And then we're also paying for the mentors too. And this is something like every district has to support new teachers through, you know, through the induction process with mentors, but they don't all pay for it. So it's great that we do it, but people graduating, no. And we get asked that question a lot. Like, I just remember interviewing as a principal, you know, the candidate would say, like, you know, do you have any questions? Do you pay for induction? Yes, we do. And they want to work here, especially early on, because they know we're gonna cover that cost for them.
Is
And
there a way
there's-
to, oh, sorry.
I think we might be asking the same
might.
question. You go for it.
Is there a way to keep them around after?
You know, that's a really good idea. Like, we could maybe have some sort of, you know, that would be something I think we would want to discuss is like, you know, you have to work in the district for 5 years, otherwise you owe us that induction money back. That would be something to explore. We also have, I don't think it's on this agenda, but we have 5 teacher residents now at University Elementary. So this is a grant that that we've written in conjunction with Sonoma State. And it's basically a way for people to get their student teaching done, their whole credential program done in 1 year, and they get $35,000 as well. So they're not making the full salary as a new teacher, but they are not working for free like most people do when they're student teaching. But there's a stipulation within that so when they finish that residency program, they are committed to Cotati Roanoke Park for 4 years. So they have to teach with us if we want them to be a teacher with us. It's like a mutual thing. And if they don't, they owe that $35,000 back. So I think that's a great idea, and that's a really similar model that we could consider implementing, that, you know, like, yes, we're happy to pay for your induction for you, but if you're gonna leave and go work in Rankin Valley or Santa Rosa City Schools, like, maybe you owe us that money back. So that's definitely something I think we should talk about. It might solve that problem.
Thank you,
Great.
Jen. I'm glad we're having this conversation because we want to be competitive as a district, and if we can improve those numbers, that would be good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Great.
Any other questions? Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. I just love that this says thank you up here too, by the way. If we could keep this
Yeah, I like that.
permanently, every time I look
We
up,
just
I'm
point
like,
it
you're
out.
welcome. All right. Approval of College and Career Center Outreach Specialist job description.
Have changed our college and career center model, and we're asking for approval of a new job description. This will be a classified position instead of a certificated position. And we also have a salary schedule adjustment attached with it. Other districts in the area use classified personnel for this position. We, in the past, it was a grant funded position prior, and we had a certificated person in there. That grant no longer exists. So we are asking to change it to a classified position.
Any questions or?
So does the grant pay for the classified?
The grant's done, right?
Yes.
And this is a for Rancho specifically, right?
Is this working, or is it my head that I?
No,
Okay.
it's in an
Yes, this is for Rancho specifically. We are having conversations about Tech High as well, but this job description could be applicable to that
Okay.
position as well.
All questions or discussion? Can I get a motion to approve the College and Career Center Outreach Specialist job description?
I'll move that we approve 10E.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Approval of CSEA salary schedule revision. I believe this is just the getting put on the salary schedule. So, any questions or discussion? Can I get a motion to approve the CSEA salary schedule revision?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll
Oh.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is educational services. Approval of consolidated application for categorical programs. I believe that's Dr. Fields.
Yes, we annually have to indicate which categorical funds we're applying for, and that's what this document does. It asks for which things we would like to receive.
Sorry, I'm catching up here. All right. Any questions or discussions for Dr. Fields? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the consolidated application for categorical programs?
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Business and Operations Services, approval of emergency declaration of Lawrence Jones Middle School office water intrusion. Mr. Bartolome.
Unfortunately, we discovered a pretty major water intrusion into several offices at Lawrence Jones Middle School. The principal's office was gutted during spring break, and it was determined that water was leaking into the sill and making all kinds of bad stuff happen. So we need you to declare this project an emergency. There's a need to conduct immediate repairs, and in emergency situations, the board can declare the project an emergency, and it helps us move a little faster to get it fixed. And, you know, we went through this with Rancho Calai's kitchen last year, if you remember. It's kind of the same deal. I can answer any specific questions. I won't see Josh here, but that's the gist of the
Any questions?
So when you say bad stuff, I assume mold that we're incurring? Yeah, so you can't neglect that.
Dry rot and quite a bit of damage that needed to be repaired in the front two offices. There's no overhang on those windows, and that was what was protecting the rest of the building, is there were overhangs on those windows, but not on the ones in the front.
Do you know how confident we are about the extent of the damage?
Yes, it's been analyzed and looked into. We're capturing everything that needs to be fixed at this point. It was unfortunately some bad contracting and when the building was built, so this has been a problem since day one, we think.
We're not using the same contractor. Okay, just checking.
Reassure the board, we will be doing an air quality assessment when we finish the repairs, just to make sure that everything is good.
I see the invoices and the estimates and such for the plastering and the flashing and everything. Are they going to come back during rainy season and give their seal of approval guarantee?
Yes,
Okay.
we'll make sure.
And there's a cap on it too, right? There's a cap on. Okay.
All right.
It's probably not with speed, and Josh always comes in under budget, so.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the emergency declaration of Lawrence Jones Middle School office water intrusion?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Great. So then the next item up is our facilities plan, and we do have Kevin here to, if there's any follow-up questions or any discussion that we need to have before we approve the facilities plan. We have lots of questions, I guess.
I think we talked about it
Yeah.
quite a bit on the August 6th meeting.
My only complaint is, again, the audience is empty. Hopefully, people are online. Hopefully, people in our community are aware of the facilities plan, are aware of the fact that we voted to go forward with another bond at last board meeting. And I just have a feeling that there isn't that much awareness of it at this time.
Especially of the scope of it.
Yeah, and the scope of it too. So, just to, can you pull up the scope and I think we need to, we know the scope, but can you bring up the slide showing the total, or you don't have that?
I actually don't have the total. But
Okay, so you don't have the slide.
It's over 800 million.
So if I touch on this little document here, I think it's attached, and just facilities plan. So the combined, or just a second while my computer goes out and grabs this.
Lef, while you're looking at that, I think it's also important to note, and for our community to note, that there's really no other way to fund these repairs.
Well, there are a number of ways to fund facility enhancements. One, as a developer builds property or you add on to your house, you get X amount of dollars per square foot from those developers, and we've been getting developer money. But the bottom line is the funds that you get from that don't offset the total cost of our facilities cost.
Right, thanks for clarifying.
The state is issuing or going ahead with was it a $10 billion bond issue in November?
Correct, that's Proposition 2, it's a state bond.
Okay, so, and out of that takes care of the entire state, and I asked a question last time, if that passes, the magnitude of, still not coming up on my computer, but,
We're gonna pull it up on here for you.
no, there you go.
Okay.
We might get, what was the number? From that bond, because of stuff that we've already applied for, was it 20 million?
27, I believe.
27 million? So, but once this pulls up, you'll see that
21,
the total demand is close to $1 billion.
Yeah.
$1 billion. I think it's 800, and I'm rounding up, sorry about that. But,
861.
the needs for the school district. And the survey that was done to address the kind of the critical issues for the district was about $90 million, just to give you an idea. And historically, I got kind of wrangled into this school board function in 1990, before some of you were born. Maybe not, but, we did the first bond issue.
I think we were all with you at that point.
Yeah, you're all here at that time, so I was trying to compliment some of you.
Born as an adult.
Born as an adult type of thing. So we've had 3 bond issues since then, and this would be the 4th one. And the first one is about ready to be paid off, not quite, right? John, you're thereabouts. So if you look at the total here, $821 million of need. And then we're highlighting roughly 90 million, or a little bit more than 10% of this total, of the total need. So there's a lot of other things that could be done in a perfect environment. So so we have things to do and stuff to do, and I want the community and to be aware of that. So I don't know how many times I have to get onto my soapbox and say, wake up, here's what's going on. Don't come complaining to me afterwards. And then, if you read this plan and people go back and look at this plan, and then it changes, people are often upset. Well, it said you were gonna do this, or you were gonna do that. So the plans change depending upon enrollment and demand and change of education and kindergarten and pre-K kindergarten program. So there's a lot of flexible, changing situations. So thanks for pulling this up. I just wanted to, we've been through this. We've had community meetings. We've been there. Just everyone else is busy in their life, and this is not their first priority, but it's one of our priorities. So.
So this facilities plan costs, you have Monte Vista and then Evergreen, and then it goes down from there. This is not in order of, this is in no particular order whatsoever, right?
Correct.
Okay, because I just don't want people to see this and be like, well, first we're gonna do Monte Vista, then we're gonna do Evergreen, and then we're gonna do,
Right.
this is just,
Or
In-
they'll
in-
look,
In the 195-page report, it does talk about prioritization. We talk about it, the dark blue, which is still a more significant amount than what the bond and/or the refund through the
Yeah, the dark
I think that was 180 million or
one
so.
eighty-three? It's right there, right?
There it is, right
I
there.
think that says
200
one
million?
eighty-three.
Yeah.
Okay.
183 in the dark blue.
Yeah,
And then-
183 is the high need, and then
And
you go to
we're
the next.
Proposing a bond for half of that,
Yes.
Yeah. And then,
and that'll happen over the next
10 years?
5-10 years.
Probably 6 to 8 to.
6 to 8.
6 to 8 to possibly up to 10,
Right.
depending on what your
So
sales are.
by then, it's just as,
so from today, if this gets approved, when is the first shovel hitting the ground? If everything goes right, the bond gets us approved and we get our 20 million back from the state, realistically, when is the soonest that any of these projects would even start?
If the bond passed in November, it depends on the type of projects you want to do. So
Okay.
if you wanted to do a simple re-roof HVAC, those are a lot shorter time span than a brand-new building where we're replacing portables. So something like that could be, in the 9-month range, where a new building is going to be probably close to a year and a half
Before it
Yes.
ever even gets started?
before it gets started, because we have to design it, get all the
Yep.
approvals, get the buy-in from the staff, and then get
we gotta get state approvals too,
state approval, which is, no easy task either.
right?
Yeah, and I feel like when we had that presentation a while ago, she said the state approvals are taking a really long time now. Or maybe it was the
They've
approval just for the
Always
monies.
taken a long
For
time.
the refund.
Yeah, but she was saying it's taking
Yeah.
even more
Yeah,
than
that's for, to get your reimbursements.
your government expectation of time. Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna have to decide in the blue even which of those we're gonna prioritize, because we can't do all the blue, the dark blue.
Do half of them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of your first step. If the bond passes, is figuring out which projects at which campus and when are your highest priority, and kind of coming up with that implementation plan.
And a 6 to 8 year window,
Mhm.
not all of us will still be here in 6 to 8 years. I mean, so some other governing body will be making those decisions. Obviously, our cabinet, our facilities manager, we will be going forward and doing the right things for the school district, but it's just, it's out there ways.
So what I understand, Lep, is that, that the community won't be involved with the, figuring out the, which is what we're gonna prioritize in the blue. We've already done that, so now it'll be up to, the district to decide? Or
Yes.
will we have more community meetings in the future?
It's completely up to you how you want to do this. If you would like to, after the bond is passed, and want to have another community meeting and want us to facilitate that, we're more than happy to do that as well. We'll kind of walk through each side and the projects and help guide a public conversation about what is felt as the highest need in the district. We have the scores from what we met with each site, and a little bit of input we got from the 2 public meetings, but we can definitely entertain that again as something to do if the bond passes in November.
well, my understanding is it's Lef and Mark, you two are on the facilities committee? Who's on the facilities committee with you? Oh, Eric?
Well, that was Eric and I, but I don't know if that's changed. I can't keep track of where we
I
are.
don't think it's changed yet, but
Okay.
the facilities committee would meet and come up with a plan, and then that's what gets presented to the board.
Yes.
So if you,
Well, the facilities committee doesn't make those decisions. We listen to
Yeah.
what the district is recommending, just so we're aware of it, and then
Yeah.
that committee brings it back to the board to make recommendations as they go forward.
Yeah. and the general public could ask to be on the facilities committee, just like we have general public on the bond, or on the budget committee. So if there was
They can
someone,
attend those committee meetings.
yeah, they can attend the
Yeah.
meetings and,
Right.
so we could, just so Shirley, so you know that, yes, at any point, the public is always invited to attend a budget meeting or a facilities meeting or a special education meeting. So I don't want people to think that like we're gonna, no, it's just gonna be the five of us and we're gonna decide what school gets painted pink next or something. You know, there is the opportunity there, it's just the awareness that the opportunity is there may not be around. So, yeah. Great.
We're happy to assist any way we can.
Thank you.
So, this is gonna come out so weird. What are we approving? Because we're not approving that you can do these projects. We've already approved the bond. Are we just approving,
That's what I
hey,
asked
Josh
The
and
plan.
team, here's
We're
a
approving the
great,
overall
We're
plan.
over, they
Yeah.
have done a facilities plan for us, showing us all the needs.
right?
And so we're basically saying, yeah.
we agree with you.
We're planning the next 30 years, it'll change in 5.
Yeah, okay, just wanted to make sure
You know,
that we're all on the
we're
same page.
approving a scope
Yeah.
of things to keep the facility going forward. It's kind of like, if you want to narrow that scope down, I live in a house, those of us that own a house or that, or someone else, someday I got to replace the roof.
Yeah.
Someday I got to replace the refrigerator. Someday, you know, hopefully I don't have water issue and have to tear it all apart and have mold
No,
issues,
I
you
don't
know.
wish that on anyone.
You know, so it's just bigger than that.
Yeah.
$821 million bigger than that, so.
And it's a plan, and I brought this up last time, if Joe or Jane billionaire came in, wrote us a blank check for $1 billion
Ooh,
to
I
get
like
it all
that.
done, we still couldn't get it all done in 10 years.
Right, 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 okay.
Couldn't shut everything down and put everything under construction.
So, because I do want people to understand while we are approving this and there's very specific items in here, it doesn't mean that those items are necessarily gonna get done in the next year, 5 years, 10 years.
Correct. This is a long-term vision on
Yeah.
looking at everything that needs to happen currently on the campus,
Yeah, right.
kind of planning for the future. So you're not committing to do all $800 million right now. This is just kind of your roadmap to do long-range facilities.
Sounds good. Any other questions?
No.
Anyone know a billionaire? Yeah, okay. If you don't ask, you don't know.
Well, this is so broad that if somebody did have $1 billion, it would barely cover it.
Right. So just one final commentary, you know, the state does provide funding. It just isn't adequate to meet our needs. I would like if I had a wish list, I would like for the state to be a little bit more proactive with this and provide sufficient funding ahead of time so we don't have to get into a situation where we're asking for a loan, basically.
Yep.
It's a wish list, I know.
Well, I think it should also be brought up to the public, it was brought up on the August 6th meeting, is that with the new, was it Prop 2?
Yes.
That is going, limited funds, first come, kind of first approved, not first
Oh,
come.
I saw-
First approved, get the funds. So if there's a long wait list, you know, $10 billion divided among the hundreds of of district needs, that doesn't necessarily mean that every district is gonna get a slice of that pie.
Correct. And that's why you're getting in line right now for your past projects, so it gets you into that queue sooner than later.
Well, just to put it in perspective, how many school districts are there in California?
Oh, California?
Pardon me?
1,000?
1,000? So this one school district is working on $1 billion. So you take 1,000, if you take all of those at half of that, you have, what's that, 500 million or 5,000 million? So, billion, or, I mean, there's just not enough funds.
Right.
The demand is way more than is needed to supply the facilities of the educational of all the state of California.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like Eric says, you know, he wishes it were, you know, built into the budget so that they would supply that and not require local communities, because those communities that can and have support of that will support bond issues for their communities. There's other communities that have voted them down, so hopefully we'll continue to be successful to provide a few of the needed facility things for our district.
All right, any other questions for Kevin? All right, can I get a motion to approve the facilities plan?
I move that we approve 12B.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Can't wait to
Well
see all
done.
these shiny new buildings.
Good thing you're patient.
No, I'm not. That's,
We'll just keep looking at the plan.
we're doers, Eric, remember?
We are. We are.
All right. Board Services, ratification of 2024-2025 Technology High School MOU, 7-period block schedule.
Yes, this is an MOU that comes before the board annually. Tech High, because of the nature of the high school, requires a 7-period day. So we ask for your approval of the MOU.
Any questions or discussion? Okay, motion to approve the ratification of the 2024-2025 Tech High MOU.
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Adoption of Proclamation 2025-1, declaring September as School Attendance Awareness Month.
So we know that attendance is across the nation is low since the pandemic, and we do bring this proclamation forward every September, and we are dedicating staff time and resources to doing some new creative things to improve attendance in our schools. John brought it to our attention the other day that if we increased our attendance by 1%, that would bring in $800,000 to our school district. So we're working hard to bring those numbers up. Jamal and his team is working on some strategies. So we do want to have our resolution, so we'll make that public to this community to let them know that we are taking this. This is a serious initiative that we're embarking on to make sure that our kids are in school. We only ask 180 days. We'd like them there for all of them.
Oh, is this question time?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good. Thank you, Maite. So since COVID is making a little, comeback, so let's say a student's out for, 3 or more days and they get a doctor's okay, does that count for it doesn't?
There used to be, years ago, if you had an excused absence, it
Yeah.
counted.
Right.
I don't know, was it 10 years ago? They stopped, I think, somewhere around, I was a principal then,
Yeah.
when we used to track excused and unexcused, and we got paid for excused. That's not the case anymore. An absence is an absence.
Wow.
It's marked differently when we track it in our data, excused versus unexcused, but as far as the state's concerned, they're all absences.
Wow.
I know we've talked about it in the budget meeting a bunch of times, but I think we need to do some parent education on that, because I know there's a lot of parents that still believe an excused absence, this school still gets money, and unexcused they don't. I had a friend in a different district, one of my coworkers just had a little kindergartner start, and they have all the parents come into the MU on day one. Instead of looking in the window, they say, here, come over here and hang out with us. And the principal did get up and explain the just absences, and we want the students in school to learn, but also the financial cost of it. He went home and canceled one of their trips because he felt so guilty. He's like, I didn't realize that it was going to cost the school district money. We're going to go at spring break instead. And so I know that we've struggled with, we don't want to put a dollar figure on our students, but I think there is a little bit of a learning curve that excused absences, we still get paid, and that a lot of families just don't realize that there is a cost to attendance. And $800,000 is a lot of money, so.
The other part of that is if you miss just one day of school every month, by the time you hit 12th grade, you've missed a year.
Yeah.
And that's significant, right? So being in school does matter for our kids, and it's part of their education. We got to get them there to be able to work with them. So it's really important.
Yeah.
Just a question, we're average about 5% absentee? No?
John, you know that.
What's our,
Last year, our ADA was just under 93%, so that's.
So 93, so we're a 7% absent. Because I remember days, and this, for being on the school board for 100 years like I have, it comes up every year, and we discuss that. And I guess there's waves, and then if you get enough illnesses or you get a situation like, fires and stuff, you can ask for
You can ask for
exceptions
emergency,
type
yes.
of things from disasters. But I think it's important, like you say, what it costs the district every time you keep your kid home.
Yeah.
And then, it's just shame on parents that just say, well, I'm gonna take my vacation now and I'm gonna go when it's not as crowded and take my kids out of school. If they do a directed, what do they call it, study program or something,
Independent study?
independent study, if I'm gonna be gone for a week skiing in Switzerland, or whatever for my kids, not that I've done that, it's just a dream thing.
Yeah.
Does the district get paid then?
We're in conversation right now about independent study because the rules have changed around independent study. One of the things that happens is if the work isn't completed or if there are any missteps along the way, we don't get the funding. And it often costs us more to put out the independent study than what we recoup. And so there's lots of complications with independent study. So right now we are looking at it. The teachers union is very interested in understanding it more, and we are as an organization. So Jamal again is leading some work to try to understand what should we be on, what benefits the students, what keeps us fiscally sound, because there has been we've had some costs associated with providing independent study that are not necessarily coming out in the
Well, there's
wash.
more staffing time too. You're asking the
Yes.
teacher and everyone else to,
Yes.
to do that. So, I'm doing my job here and I gotta do something special. If that student was in the class, I wouldn't have to do something extra
Yeah.
Yes,
type of thing.
those are all
I
things
think
we
it's
want to take
important
into
that we,
consideration.
provide that. So if is a valid independent study, situation or family emergency or things like that, yes, but,
We want to be flexible for
Sure.
people who have emergencies, right? We know that those things happen,
right,
but we also have other things we need to take into consideration when we're
Right.
providing
right,
exceptions to what we do.
okay.
If someone asks for an independent study, are you allowed to ask them where they're going? So if I came in and say, I want a 2-week independent study because I'm taking my son out, I don't have to tell you why or when.
Not currently, no.
Okay. Can we legally ask them, or we just don't ask them?
Right now, we don't. It's our board policy the way it is. We give independent study contracts depending on the length of time. And we have not put any criteria on that of what you can leave for or what we would accept those independent study contracts for.
Okay. But we could, if we wanted to, make a board policy like Liff was saying, for catastrophic or
Right.
what the board considers a reasonable reason to be gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I just didn't know if we were legally allowed to ask, where are you going? So, okay.
No on vacations.
Well, or they'll have to take you to Switzerland with them. There you go. Where are we? Well, we're adopting this. That's right.
Okay. Where are we?
We're in the tag
okay.
building.
And then, so we are gonna do, because I know
Roll
sometimes
call.
we do these proclamations declaring, all these
Mhm.
months. And Jamal, I think you did a great job last year of actually putting out, this is the month of, Spanish Heritage Month or Asian Island or Pacific Month. So you're gonna continue doing that this year? And-
Yeah, absolutely. We want to do that for all of the things that we recognize. We want to try and, do more than just say it here.
Yeah.
Also have some other activities and things that we'd like to recognize.
Thanks. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the adoption of Proclamation 2025-1 declaring September as School Attendance Awareness Month?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Brown,
Yes,
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. All right, next we have Resolution 2025-2 recognizing Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month.
Yes, this is another resolution. We know mental health is an issue for our youth. We know that it's become more prevalent since COVID, and our staff is now required to take suicide training at the beginning of the year. So there's a lot more attention being placed on it. So we want to recognize that this is an issue for our community and communities out there. So we would like to ask the board's approval on this proclamation as well, or this resolution, excuse me.
I was curious, I saw that it says 20% of our students have a mental illness, and I'm wondering, is that representative of the general population as well? Okay. I'm glad that there's teachers going through that trainings to promote awareness and support.
Mental health support is so important in our schools. It really is.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2025-2, recognizing Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Brown,
Yes?
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Resolution 2025-3, National Hispanic Heritage Month.
So we have a big celebration happening in our backyard. Rancho Cotati High School, Professor Ortega and the MECHA students and the BSU and our community partners are putting on a huge event. I think it's I want to say 21st. Did I get that right? And it'll be at Rancho Cotati. I think they start at 2 in the afternoon. Very exciting. Professor Ortega gets very excited about this event and builds a lot of enthusiasm around it. It is Hispanic Heritage Month, and we have a large percentage of our students are Latino, and we want to acknowledge their heritage.
Great. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2025-3, National Hispanic Heritage Month?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Oh, no, roll call.
Roll call.
Trustee Brown,
Yes?
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
See.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. All right. E through M is first readings of board policies and administrative regulations. Are there any questions or discussions about E through M? All right, then we're just going to go through 'em. Item E, first reading of board policy and Exhibit 0420-41, Charter School Oversight. Item F, first reading of board policy, administrative regulation, and Exhibit 1113, District and School Websites. Item G, first reading of board policy 1260, Educational Foundation. Item H, first reading of board policy and administrative regulation 5113, Absences and Excuses. Item I, first reading of board policy and Exhibit 5145.6, Parent Guardian Notifications. Item J, first reading of board policy 6000, Concepts and Roles. Item K, first reading of board bylaw and Exhibit 9220, Governing Board Elections. Item L, first reading of board policy and administrative regulation 7214, General Obligation Bonds. Item M, first reading of board bylaw 9223, Filling Vacancies. Item N, this is the second reading of board bylaw and Exhibit 9323.2, Actions by the Board. Are there any questions or discussion?
I have a question about H, and I don't know if we have it, but it's talking about approved absences for grieving periods. Is that one of the things that we would get? Does the new law say that not only do we allow for that, but we also get money for that, or is just we have to allow for that?
We have to allow for it.
Okay.
Still no money. Okay. Item N, any questions about board bylaw and Exhibit 9323.2? All right, can I get a motion to approve the second reading of board bylaw and Exhibit 9323.2, Actions by the Board?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Acceptance of gifts and donations to school and district.
So we have a long list today. So the Federated Indian Great and Rancheria, $346,437.49. They pay us in installments every year. Very grateful to them. Rancho Cotati Athletic Boosters to Rancho Cotati High School, $15,000. A retired teacher from Marguerite Hahn, a woman named Vicki Heinz, passed away recently, and instead of flowers, the family asked that donations be made to Marguerite Hahn School. So Beth Field for $25. Kate, I do not want to butcher people's names, and I'm so sorry. Kathy Chilcote for $50. Beth and James Donahoe for $100. And Ronald and Lupe Malnati for $50 on behalf of Vicky Heinz. We appreciate their generosity. Ganga Tamang, $72 in backpacks and supplies to Richard Crane. The Ed Foundation, thank you, Ed Foundation, Vera and Dan, $55,076 in grant funds. And Cal RTA, $20 in gift bags to Richard Crane. And then California Check Cashing, $200 to John Reed in office supplies. The total is $406, oh my God, I can't read the number. $16,980. Well, there's a little line in front of it too. And 40 something cents, I can't see it, there's something in front of it. So thank you for your patience and the help with the math. They didn't hire me for my math skills. All right, thank you all.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the acceptance of gifts and donations to school and district?
I move that we accept the gifts and donations to the school and district.
Can I get a second?
I'll second happily.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. It is a very funny thing to approve. Like, what are we gonna do? Say no? Take your money back?
We don't need your money.
Anyway, thank you, community. Future business and agenda items. Trustee Johnson.
Yes, I would like to invite Christina Panza, the Director of Safe Routes to School, to give us a presentation next month, hopefully. Okay.
Great.
With safe rides to school, is that?
Did I say that wrong?
It's safe routes.
Safe
Yeah, I
routes?
can't
Bicycle
talk.
walking.
Okay.
Safe Routes to School, yes.
Perfect.
It's a national organization.
Trustee Brown?
I'd like to revisit our safety plan and discipline plan for our students. In the safety plan that we have one SRO and have some discussion of that.
Yep.
The reason being is I had 2 complaints from parents about high school kids vaping at school. And I'd like to kind of, you got to be 21 to smoke or purchase a vaping apparatus. You have to be 21 before you drink alcohol. And this campus and all our school campuses are non-smoking campuses. So we don't have our staff smoking and doing that. So just from a safety standpoint, and then I believe if you get caught smoking or vaping or drinking alcohol, it may be more a slap on the hand, say don't do that again type of thing. So I'd like to have a discussion and see how other board members feel about that. From a safety standpoint on the outside, I'm a contractor. My insurance company takes a strict look at the fact that the people that I'm employing, I mean, that could apply for our district too, for a liability that I have a safety plan that says that they don't drink. They don't, they're not texting when they're driving or running heavy equipment and stuff like that. So I just think that we need to have, I don't want to have any more complaints from parents saying that their kids can't go to the bathroom because kids are vaping in there. And I just don't know if staff has the time to be aware of all that type of thing. I mean, Michelle mentioned there's a school in the Bay Area that has devices now alarm will go off if someone is vaping. There's a new school that just got built, I believe in Danville or somewhere, that has all the latest safety issues built into it. So it'd be interesting to know that. So, safety and discipline and making this the safest environment that we can for our kids. I mean, people went to the fair this year, they had to have transparent, bags, instead of purses. You go to concerts, they have that. So I'm sure our students wouldn't like to be forced to have transparent, backpacks, but, I mean, how many kids are bringing vape pens or alcohol in their backpacks? I mean, we're having incidences of it. It's not a lot, but it's some. I want to address that and have a discussion of it.
And I don't know if it's worth, piggybacking on what Lef said, I don't know if it's worth Matt or someone from Student Services coming in, because I know that just last week or 2 weeks ago, Newsom the state changed what you can suspend kids for now. Like, it has to be really bad in order to even just suspend a child. So I don't know if it's worth kind of someone coming in and giving the board just when you smoke, this is what the first consequence is, or if you kick a teacher, or what, these things that when we went to school were like really bad, and you'd get in a lot of trouble, kind of what the different rules are now, and what the state's kind of limits are. Like, I think they're very limiting now into what we can and can't do, so.
Well, just, a side thing, the two parents that contacted me, the last thing I want to do as a parent said, I'm done, I'm fed up with your school district, I'm going elsewhere, you don't have that. And draw an analogy, one of the reasons I dropped my season tickets to the San Francisco Giants, because my seats were in the arcade area, and they would not enforce the smoking, and I got tired of people smoking pot and vaping pot and having to smell that, in addition to increasing their prices significantly, which also weighed me. But it's an issue we want to make the schools and the grounds, inviting.
Yeah.
I remember the days when I traveled out of California, when I'm used to non-smoking, and you go into a restaurant and everyone's smoking, and you're going, what's going on here? But I mean, or I don't partake in the casino because of part of the thing is, well, I don't want to lose my money, but then the smoking is just very unattractive. But that's an adult situation, and people can go there and freely do what they want, so.
Great. You got that? Sounds good. All right. Yeah, please, go ahead. Safe routes to school.
Safety planning, what are we doing, what are the consequences, what are we doing about vaping, and then,
Well, just in general,
Just
of all
kind of in general, our
things.
discipline and
I mean,
safety.
what-
and-
I mean-
so that kind of takes, and then you added on to that by what are our consequences, so when Matt comes back, to kind of go through,
Yeah.
this happens,
Yeah.
did I miss, did I get it off?
No, you
I want to be able to, respond to those parents and say, here's our policy. And whether,
Yep.
old school me is going to be tough.
And I don't know if it's worth it, maybe the safety discipline one is we do during a study session in more of a town hall where we can invite parents and stuff to come to actually
Right.
talk, and this is their experience
Sure.
too, because I'd love to hear
Right.
what kids are saying when they get home.
One of the greatest things we did is when we had all the representatives from
Oh,
the
I
kids
loved
come
that.
talk about,
I loved it.
about other things, so,
Can we do that again this year, please?
I mean, you don't have anything else to do, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I remember those kids talking about is the lack of respect towards other people, not just teachers, but.
Yeah.
So, when your freedoms are infringing upon other people, that's an issue, so.
Trustee Nelson?
No, I second, I would like to know what the new rules are for what is and what isn't punishable, and, the scope of that.
Nothing else to add?
The only, and it's more of a question, and you can email us. Months ago, we approved the new science curriculum for this school year. So I just wanted to make sure it all came in and everything's ready to go, and because I know when we did the English one, there was a little bit of a snafu if it didn't all come in on time. So now that school is here, if we can just make sure that everything that was supposed to come in is in and we're good to go, then that'd be great.
You're saying for the curriculum, make
Yeah,
sure
the
all
science.
the books are here, and we're not going to
Yeah.
have people showing up, goes, where are my books, and that kind of stuff.
Did you say presentation or email? I'm sorry.
You can just email us if you want. Yeah. Just want to make sure everything's in. I don't wanna find out in 3 months that it hasn't been in,
Yeah, my kid hasn't seen the new science book kind of an email, yeah.
so.
The book, the
I
book.
know.
No, I'm just, that's what we don't want to
Well,
have.
Mark's kid actually hasn't seen the new science book,
No.
so,
Science book's too heavy.
but anyway. Anything else? All right,
that's
we
it.
have no reason to convene to close session again, so we will call the meeting to order at 7:34. I mean, closing it.
Closing,
No
yeah,
more
like
order.
order,
We're done.
but-
The end.
We're not going to close session.